Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different. It has been requested. Yay! It's December the 1st, and I know some of you are sweating Christmas break out. Like, where you at? Some of you don't want to come back after Christmas break. I understand, been there, done that, got the t-shirt to match. Today's students, parents, and schools, period, are not the same as yesterday's. I understand this as well. This video is for teachers who may be struggling with classroom management already. So, December, you're struggling. This is for you. In this video, I'm going to go over some things that you can do when you come back in January to help you survive the rest of the year. So, let's go. Okay, so the first thing I always do is establish new rules and procedures. The old ones wasn't working. I mean, point blank. Um, but when I do it, I normally do it at the beginning of the year. But because this is different, this is always a reset. So even in my class, I would go back over rules, procedures in January. Just because sometimes they come back and they act like they forgot over Christmas. They developed amnesia. Maybe they fail. I don't know. But it's not too late. You can still do this in January. So what I would do is when they would come in, I always allow them to help me establish the rules or come up, develop the rules and consequences. So what this looks like. When students come in January, I say, hey, last semester didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So I'm going to let you help me come up with some classroom rules and consequences. They normally love that. I normally have them develop about 3 to 4 non-negotiables in a Google form. And then I cast the responses via my ViewSonic board or Promethean board or Smartboard, whatever you have in your class. We look at the responses and we see which ones were selected the most or most prevalent, and we go with those. And then once we discover or develop our rules, which 9 times out of 10, they're the rules you either already had or rules that you would have come up with yourself. Next, we do the same for consequences. I have them talk to me about consequences. Like, so what's going to happen if you break this rule? What's going to happen? And we'll come up with some consequences that we can agree upon. And then we even come up with some incentives and some rewards for doing well. Now, the procedures you come up with. I don't let them help me with procedures. Procedures is something that I come up with. And with this, you're going to have to do some self-reflecting. You're going to need to look at August to December to see what happened, when it occurred, was it one time more significant than the other? When did you notice the most significant amount of disruption? What don't you like about the day? What's not running smoothly? You got to self-reflect so you can come up with some procedures that work for you. For example, when I was teaching middle school, I would allow my students to throw trash away, sharpen pencils. You know, if they raise their hand, hey, I got a piece of trash, throw away. Okay, I got a pencil to throw away. To sharpen. Okay. Well, on the way to sharpen a pencil or throw some trash away, the kids have to hit the person in front of them, hit the person down the aisle. They got the people in the desk got to put the foot out to trip them. The book bags are in the floor. They got to do a pop, lock, and drop. They got a soul train. It was too much going on for them to just be throwing away a pencil. Sharpening a pencil or throwing trash away. I don't need all that. So I had to self-reflect and say, I'm having a lot of issues during this period. So let me change this. So they don't get up anymore. They hold their trash at their desk until it's time to dismiss. On the way out, you take your trash, you throw it away on the way out the door. If you need a sharpened pencil, you raise your hand and I will give you one that's already pre-sharpened. There's no more Soul Train line. There's no more hitting. There's no more tripping because they're not getting up. But I had to self reflect to come up with that. Now, if you need a list of procedures, reach out because I have 1,000 of them, it feels like. Now, model your new rules and procedures. What do these procedures look like? Uh, for instance, turn and talk. I modeled that. I said, this is how we're going to turn and talk. You turn and talk to this person. You turn and talk to this person. They had to do it, practice, because practice makes perfect. Going to the lunchroom, a lot of issues happen going or coming from the lunchroom or PE. We line up, we're quiet. If we can't do that, we need to line up again until we're quiet. And this is eating into their time. And I always let them know, hey, this is y'all time. We could get it right and go, or we keep practicing. But you have to make sure that they understand what your procedures are. So model them. We are family. We all we got. Um, I teach them that you might not like your sister every day, or you might not like your brother every day, but that does not negate the fact that that's still your family. Um, they have to be able to coexist in my class. I don't, I don't want to say I don't care, but I really don't care what happened last year or the year before. Y'all could be arch nemesis in the streets, but in this classroom, y'all are family, and what one person does affects this whole room. Once they learn that concept, they learn to get along for the common good of the class. And it helped me when I would have competitions, I would have families against families. Um, they're really competitive. People are competitive by nature, but kids are very competitive. I could have a competition for anything. Which class is the quietest today? Which class averages the highest today? Which class is going to score the highest grade on the test? They wanted to compete because they wanted to win. And it was just a bragging right most of the time. I would stir up mess and say, oh, this family said that they going to win this today. They got this. I would even use behavior management, for instance. Which class has the least infractions? They win something at the end of the week. And I pit them against each other, and it worked for me. I'm not going to say it'll work for you, but it worked for me. So that's just one of my strategies. Positive parental contact. This is the best one yet. I should have had this one as the first one. Um, I normally do this at the beginning of the year before before the kids get out of hand, but you can do this when you come back in January. I try to contact each parent and let them know something positive about their student or their child. It can be, I know some of these kids are hard, and it might be hard to find something positive, but it can be something as simple as Johnny went to that board and he labeled that now like it was nobody's business. I mean, find something positive to call that parent about, because normally they don't get positive feedback about their kids. They know that their kids are a little busy. And sometimes it's nice to hear something good instead of always hearing something bad. And it makes it where that parent respects you. Now you all have a relationship, and that child comes in feeling good because now his mom has said, your teacher called today and she said something good. She said you did good. And then they're happy with you for calling their parent, telling them they did. I mean, that's a relationship builder. Positive parental contact. It also helps because when you have to call that parent and tell them the child didn't do something good, might have been a little busy, they're not as quick to come to the offense or defense, come to the defense of their kid. They hear you out more. So try that. I hope that one works for you. That one always works for me. Set the tone in your class. I always set the tone in my class. They knew when they came in, look at the board, find the bell ringer, start working. I would have soft music playing. I have some smell good going. I let them know from day one that I'm really big on energy. And if you're having a bad day, if something happened in the class before, if something happened at PE, I don't want you to bring it in my class. If you need to stand out the door for 5 minutes, stand out my door for 5 minutes. I didn't say walk down the hall. I didn't say go to the bathroom. I said stand outside my door for 5 minutes until you get yourself together, because I didn't do that to you. This class didn't do that to you. So you're not going to bring that in my class. So that was always a big for me as well. And I can add some playlists that I normally play in my class as well. Don't sweat the small stuff. I, y'all, it was things that I heard that I didn't hear. It was things that I saw that I did not see. Don't stress yourself out trying to micromanage everything they do, because you will go crazy trying to write a referral for every single thing. If it's something you can handle in house, meaning in your room, handle it. If it's something that's not a big deal, don't sweat it. Classroom setup. Look at your classroom setup. Make sure that's not the reason why your management isn't going the way you want it to go. Make sure your desks are not too close. Make sure you can walk through the aisles. Make sure that kids can walk through the aisles without bumping or hitting or um, making accidentally touching each other. So just look at your room setup. Make sure everybody can see the focal points of the room, things like that. Say what you mean and mean what you say. They have helped you develop those rules and those consequences. So when they break them, you need to handle it accordingly. Don't say next time I'm going to do this. Don't say if you do that again, I'm going to do this. No. Handle what you need to handle when you need to handle it. But you have to handle it the same for every student. You have to be firm, fair, and consistent. They can tell if you do something to them that you don't do to someone else. Firm, fair, and consistent. Last but not least is have fun. They want to have fun. You want to have fun. You don't want to be at a job all day just trying to make it to the bell rings at the end of the day. If you have fun activities, if you are able to have fun with them, it would make for a better day and they would learn. But in order to have fun with them, those other things, that classroom management has to be under control. So try some of these tips. Let me know if it helps. If there's anyone else that has some other tips to add, please add in the comments below. Have a good one. Bye.